First of all, thank you for the invitation. Thank you. A remarkable program this year. And I'm very glad just to share with you some thoughts about the future of the single market. That is the main topic today for the future of the European Union economy. And I would be more than happy to have a dialogue with the business here. Single market is the main part of our European economy. And this year we are at the 30th anniversary of the establishment of the single market. Greece was on board since the beginning. But we know that the future of the single market, of the European single market, is under threats, is under attack for many reasons. And this is why the European Council last June decided to ask for a high-level report on the future of the single market, to relaunch it in the future. And they asked me to prepare this report and to present it at the European Council next March. And this is why tomorrow I will be in town, in Athens, meeting the Prime Minister Mitsotakis to listen the Greek government position on the future on the single market. My two takes on this topic are, first, the single market is incomplete. We know very well that the single market is for freedoms, and the freedom of movement of services, goods, capital, and person. But the problem of the single market is that there's an asymmetric free movement, because where we talk about goods, the single market is almost completed. When we talk about people, is enough completed, if I may say. But when we talk about services and capitals, the single market is really uncompleted. Capital, I would say, is a disaster. The single market isn't there when we talk about capitals. This is why the European financial system is so weak in comparison with the American one. And in services too, the single market is very weak. So first, big topic, how to complete it. How to complete it on capitals, how to complete it on services, how to try to have energy pushing for the completion of the single market in a moment in which, I have to be very, very frank on that, eliminating barriers, eliminating borders is not very à la mode. It is exactly the opposite. As soon we have a problem, we raise frontiers, we raise borders. The dream of the 80s, of the 90s, the Jacques Delors dream, to eliminating borders, eliminating barriers within the European Union was a dream, and this dream was really a catalyzer of energies. My generation grew up with this dream, the dream of overcoming barriers, overcoming borders. That was great. Today we are not in this mood. So there's a problem of rules, there's a problem of the enforcement of rules. I say enforcement because member states learned one lesson, and the lesson is that when you are 27 in the European Council, it's very complicated to stop one decision. It's easier to stop the enforcement at home of the decision that the European Council takes. And this is the way in which the enforcement is becoming also the other problem of the single market, with a lot of divergences and asymmetries. And the second main point is the fact that the single market was created and worked successfully for decades in a world in which Europe was really the center of the world economically. And we were in an inward-looking mood in the single market. So the topic was, we want to have free movement within Europe. We want to have competition rules within the European Union, so fragmenting, cutting monopolies, and so on and so forth. The big problem is that today, in the last 5-6 years, the big changes at world level are changing completely the way in which we have to think at the single market. I just mentioned, very brief before concluding, we started with Brexit. Brexit was the first attack to the single market. And the attack was not only because of Brexit, but because of the negotiation post-Brexit was a negotiation where the United Kingdom wanted to divide us and to have the so-called cherry picking and to say, we want a part, some part of the single market, but not the entire single market. And we, Michel Barnier, the negotiator for the European Union, we resisted and we said, no, the single market is unique. If you want to stay, you have to take the entire single market. So the 4 freedoms, not only the freedom of movement of capitals, for instance. The single market is a unity. The second, COVID. COVID was an attack to the single market. But we won because we created the single market of vaccine, the single market of medicines, and so on. Then the war today, and the war with the attack to the energy union, to the energy supply chain. So today the single market is under attack because of the world around us. And the key point is that since some years or some months, we started talking about topics that we never had at the table of prime ministers or Council of Ministers or European institutions. The terms European sovereignty, European security, open strategic autonomy, all these terms are there to say the same thing. And the same thing is that we were dependent on energy from Russia and from the Middle East, on technology from China, on security from the US. Today, we keep our alliance with the US, but for the rest, we have to be independent. So we have to transform our single market being independent on energy, on technology, on raw materials, and so on and so forth. And it is complicated. And the main, I think, task and the main mission for the future is how to get this strategic autonomy, this European sovereignty, without killing the level playing field. That is the reason why entrepreneurs are successful in Europe. So the 4 freedoms. The 4 freedoms with competition rules, enforcing 4 freedoms. And of course, everything is linked also to the fact that this legislature at European level, and I stop here, is dedicated to the green transition and the digital transition. And we have to keep this mission, this momentum, through the transformation of the single market and the impulse of the single market. So I wanted just to set up the scene of the main topic. And in my view, these topics will be the very core of the next European legislature, with one added point, and the added point that is very important and very interesting for a country like Greece is the enlargement process. Because we know very well, and von der Leyen in Tirana some days ago immediately said clearly that we want to share with the countries of Western Balkans some fields of the single market. So that will be, before the enlargement, one of the topics in the relationship with these countries. So I think the next legislature will have this topic at the very core of the attention. That is, for us, I think, a great challenge, and I think also a fantastic way to transform our European Union in a more assertive unity of countries and in a more successful economy.